Hey, this is Nate Barcalow, and you are watching Bridge the Atlantic.
Before I ask you this next question, I want to address the elephant on the internet. I guess I would say not in the room, because we're not in the same room. But what's what I'm looking for? I mean, it's obvious that there's some turmoil going on with you and Finch right now, with your past bandmates. I guess I just want to give you an opportunity to maybe give people your side of the story, and let people know the situation from your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a long story, but, I mean, we started, I guess, summer 2015, we started writing a new record, and, everything was good. We were all on the same page. Everybody was stoked. And, so we in turn gave those to, our management, and they passed them on to the label that we were on at the time. And someone at the label was saying like, "Oh, these are okay," but they were skeptical, so they said they wanted to hear us with a producer, which is kind of weird. But we're like, okay, we'll give it a shot. So we got this producer who was more of a co-writer, and he got involved and kind of started getting really hands-on and writing things. And he said he was into the demos that we had, but he wanted to maybe keep 2 or 3 of them. So that to me was like, okay, you want to throw these away? That's great. And write more songs that sounded like the ones they posted. So then, he was really hands-on and writing stuff. And being a musician and getting in a room after being in a band for so long, being like, we got this handled, we can write our own music, and having somebody be like, yeah, I can do this, suggesting melodies to me and picking up instruments and writing parts for people. I was just like, I can't do that. It's just not who I am. So, we did 2 songs with him, and after that I was just like, I don't want to work with this guy. Can't do it. And the band was like, oh, all right, like that's cool. We don't have to work with him. So but they continued to work with him. They went out there a couple times without me and kept working with him. So I was like, whatever. I guess we'll come back to the demos whenever we can. So that went on for a while, and we kind of argued about using that guy, and I said I can't work with him. So we ended up firing that guy, and we sent the songs that we did with him, we sent to the label. And they passed on us. So
not to laugh at that, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So it is interesting. So they passed. So I was like, okay, so we're done with this guy, right? So like, let's get back to work. And everybody was like, yeah, we'll get back to work. Kind of just stopped working on stuff. And, I mean, we tried, but it was kind of push and pull. And then, I guess, we were talking. Okay, so then we started talking about doing like an ad campaign, like a fan funded, like raise money so we can make our own record.
Oh, crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah. So
right.
we talked about doing that a little bit, and so that was up in the air. And then we kind of stopped working and stopped talking. And so I had texted the guys and was like, when's the ad campaign happening? And they're like, you know what, we need to take a break. And, maybe we'll come back to it in a couple months. And at that time I had a lot of my own stuff going on. So I was like, all right, whatever, we'll take a break. That's fine. Come back to it in a couple months. That was in March. It was March 1st. And then April 22nd, 23rd, they announced on Instagram that they were going to make a record with Buddy, which is how I found out about it, by the way. It was on Instagram. So that sucked for me, and I felt trashed. Like, I was just like, okay, they don't want to make a record with me, so I'm done. Like, I guess I'm not. They don't want to work with me, so I was like, whatever. I'll just do something else. So I started Private Lives. Started doing that for a while. Didn't hear from anybody. Then eventually they started texting me and were like, hey, we got some tour offers. And I'm just like, you don't want to work on a new record. You don't want to release anything new. You just want to go on tour. no thanks, pretty much. So yeah, then it got left to that, and then they started doing all their stuff with Buddy, and I started doing my stuff, and then after a while it was just nobody was talking, and then eventually I got locked out of the social media, and so then I was like, okay, they really don't want to work with me. They don't want anything to do with me. And then I got blocked from the social media, and then I was just like, this is too much, man. I was just like, fire me, like, if you don't want to work with me, fire me. So I just ended up telling them, like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not going to do it. So I posted my thing. I gave the world a goodbye the best I could, tried to keep it simple and not throw anybody under the bus or start any drama, and then they posted their thing. So, I mean, that was that.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
It got really ugly. I mean, I really wish it didn't go down like that, but.
So what you posted was the demos that you guys did, not the work you did with that producer co-writer.
No, those were the demos. Those were the demos that we all were behind, and we were all 100% on, and we were stoked on those. And that was basically the record. It was pretty much done. All we had to do was get it finished.
Right.
But they chose. I mean, they wanted to work with that producer, and kind of chose to do that rather than.
And what did they post? What they posted was the work with the producer?
Those 2 songs were the songs we did with that producer, yes. It's bittersweet because, everybody's saying it could have been our best record yet, or best record since What Is to Burn, and like, that's depressing to me because I wanted, nothing more than to make that record. But
I guess this is an interesting question, but because you never know what the future holds, obviously, but do you think there's any way at all that you guys could work this out?
I mean, right now, probably not. Things are pretty ugly. I mean, other than what was seen on Facebook and, all the slander and all that stuff, I had some words of my own for, some of the members of the band, and maybe I shouldn't have sent some of those text messages, but I did, and, things are pretty bad right now, but right now, probably not, because this has actually happened before, which they were trying to make my fault as well. We were working on a new record, and they didn't want to make the record. They just want to go on tour and play all the old stuff over and over again and make quick cash or whatever they want to call it.
Right.
So I did the same thing then. I walked away then too. It's like, if we're not going to progress, if we're not going to go anywhere, what's the point? And it kind of happened again. So I feel like we're just going to keep making the same mistakes. I'd rather just do something else. I know it sucks. I know it sucks for the fans and sucks for everybody, but I don't know what else to do.
But we don't want you making music and you're not happy though.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. It's like, it's because it's not really fun. It's not really enjoyable for the fans. If we can tell that one person is on a different page and doesn't really want to be doing what they're doing, like, it's not enjoyable for you. It's not enjoyable for the rest of your bandmates, and it's not enjoyable for the fans. So I think it's not an easy decision, and it probably hurts to walk away. But I think it probably is the right decision, at least, right now. If things are ugly, then you don't want to be working together. It's not going to be a good environment for anyone. So it's not going to be good for anyone. So I think, definitely at this point, it's probably the right thing to do. Obviously,
we all hope that, you guys can figure something out and finish that record, down the road. But I mean, it is what it is. And you guys are humans. You guys are, people are going to want things, but I mean, and we all do, but you got to listen to it. You got to listen to your heart, man. And, we're really excited to hear what you're doing with Private Lives.